Okay, YouTube land, it's a overcast day here in Ohio. It's August, and my thermometer is saying 60 degrees, but it feels closer to 75 or so. My humidity thing, which half times it doesn't work right, it's saying it's about 56% humidity, which there's a little chart here. Humidity for 50%. Oh, probably make it feel like about 75. That might be right. Anyways, this wheelbarrow here, I bought this at a garage sale / estate sale. They were breaking a house because the father had passed on a while back, and the mother and her grandson actually lives across the road from me in a big fancy house they rents. But I became, how should you put it, acquainted with him through this transaction. Anyways, I bought this for $1, you know, and the reason I paid for it is, I don't know if you can read that right, but that says Jackson. It was sold through an Ace Hardware. This was made for Ace Hardware by Jackson. Either that or Ace's model. Jackson Manufacturing Company, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And it has a bent rear leg, and the front wheel is at a canter. Sorry, I had you sideways there, but you can kind of see. It's like it was loaded and somebody backed into it with a car. That's okay. I actually, if I want to, I could straighten that back leg out some. But it stands up as it is in dirt and stuff. Now, if you had a real heavy load in there, had it fall, it won't. Well, I took this down for the Jeep guy to put the parts he was going to give me in here, and he didn't, and they threw a bunch of trash in there. It's like, oh, no, I need this, I'm going to use this skillet's trash picked up around my place. Skillet's trash picked up. Well, guess what? The only thing that got thrown in here was a bunch of aluminum cans, and they were so nasty, I had to throw them in the trash. I can't put them in my cans for recycling. They have flies all over them. The tote that I had them in, from his place to here, which is, you know, about 1,500 to 2,000 feet walking. No, I take that back. It's 1,000 steps. Sorry. I'm confusing steps with actual feet. Going off the phone's step meter. Anyways, long story short, my wheelbarrow was left outside in the rain for 3 weeks, so you could see the water line in there. And I was going to take this thing and I was going to scuff it down, because it wasn't rusty like that. It was just like the sides and stuff. I was going to scuff it down and take some engine paint and paint it. Well, now the thing's nasty. It's got more damage inside. Now it's all the way rusty. And that's not going to work like that no more. This is why I do not like loaning my tools to people. Okay? Here I was trying to help somebody out. Trying to help myself out. Last weekend I was going to use my wheelbarrow and get some cement blocks. They are not cinder blocks. They're actually flat cement blocks that they use in mobile home parks to put some things on, and I was going to get some, and I was going to put me some stones to set my grills on, because in the yard, just, you know, having them up by the trailer where they want you to have them, they sink into the ground. Well, when your grill legs like that start sinking into the ground, it starts packing dirt into them, and also they're sitting with dirt around them. That means your stuff will rust. I'm not doing it today. I might do it tomorrow. My back is not up to going and getting concrete blocks today and taking the shovel and leveling the ground out and getting them in. And that's one of those things, the concrete blocks came out from under something that was taken down. There's, anyways, they are property of this park, and when I move out, they'll be left here. I talked to them, got the park manager's permission to go get them and do it. But anyways, yeah, I was going to do it last weekend when my back was feeling better. The weather was a bit warmer, because when it gets hot, then cools off, then hot, then cools off, then hot, and then cools off, it does funny things to my back and my knees. So anyways, this is why you don't loan tools out. But for $1, I'll take an old wheelbarrow like this. Actually, like these things. It's lightweight. If I've got a job where I need to move stuff in a wheelbarrow, I don't like lifting a real heavy wheelbarrow and you know, filling them to the brim. I'd rather make 100 trips with a wheelbarrow this size than 30 trips with one of those big, you know, wheelbarrows with the deep tub to it, because they're just so heavy by themselves. This here, I can take it and I can strap that to the tongue of my trailer up against the front boards, and it will ride there, and the handles will be up in there. But I could actually strap that down in place to my trailer tongue. It'll be fine. You know, it's a lightweight tool. That's good for, you know, you're going doing a clean out job at somebody's home and you have to get around the back and do something. That's great for that. That's why I like stuff like this. I had a wheelbarrow like this for years that came from Sears, and it was actually painted with Craftsman on it. It was my parents. They bought it sometime in the 60s or 70s. I'm not sure if it was the late 60s or early to mid 70s. But anyways, it rusted out because it had been used to mix concrete a few times. It rusted out, I want to say, around 93 or 94. And I never got to patching the sheet metal up. I was actually going to take it to the body shop I worked in and grind out the rust and have the guy I worked for weld some sheet metal inside it. Well, that never occurred, so it ended up getting junked around 98 or 99. And ever since I've been looking for another one like this, because I like them. That's what I like, what I enjoy. I'd rather have 10 of those than one of those big heavy wheelbarrows with the wood handles. This here, I like the way the handles come up. I like where they are. I don't like the angle of those wood handles on a wheelbarrow. This is what I enjoy. Everybody's mileage is different. But remember this, folks, when you try to help people out, you know, some people that just take advantage of it and they don't care. Other people, if you help them out, you got a friend for life that will be there with you every step of the way and do things for you. So, you know, you kind of got to watch out there. Yeah, I wanted to say something else too. I talked to a guy that has another YouTube channel. I say talked. We've emailed each other numerous times. Yeah, I agree with his philosophy. Cursing on YouTube just doesn't get the job done right. And there's some guys, and this one guy, I tried watching his videos on cars, and he does some things that are okay, but some of the things he does with cars, I think, are just beyond belief, not in a good way. And I'm not going to say the guy's name or his channel name or anything, but man, he cusses and cusses and cusses and talks about, you know, taking it here and there, and you know, you're always getting messed over, and you can imagine the euphemisms he's using. And F word is every other word, and the A word, and he calls people clowns and other things. And I watched probably 40 or 50 of his videos, and I finally said, I can't take it. It's making me want to go outside and yell and scream and curse and act like a jerk. Sometimes I'll go off, especially if I'm having a couple beers and I'm sitting here with the camera in my hand, I'll spout and not care. But my philosophy is it's really not needed on YouTube. I mean, cursing here and there is okay, but man, every other word, curse words, and getting mad at people and calling them all sorts of names and going on and just vile stuff about every person. This guy, he's always talking about I can't find employees. And I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I thought about it. And, the first job I had out of school was working in a body shop as an apprentice. And the guy I worked for, he had a pretty foul mouth and he had a bad temper. But he worked a day job most days, and he was working with people of lower intelligence, and he'd come to his second shift at his own shop and be just steaming mad already by the time he got there and ready to explode. And then his wife would call him on the phone and she would make him angry, and he took it out on me quite a few times, and I quit and got rehired, or he fired me and then he'd hire me back the next day, or he'd call me up, well, why aren't you coming to work? You fired me. Well, why aren't you coming to work? I quit last week, don't you remember? You said something to me and I said I quit and I walked out and you didn't pay me for that day. And I assumed that you understood that that was permanent. I ended up working there until the guy closed down. But I was probably fired or quit like, I want to say 100 times. Because he would lose his temper. I'd get foul-mouthed with me and cuss and scream at me. And I never got violent with him. I never threw anything at him, although I had things thrown at me. I did cuss at him a few times and tell him where he could go stick it, because there are only a couple people in my life that could yell at me without repercussions. My father, and he's departed. My mother, she's departed. My brother, he's allowed to, and his wife. Don't tell him I said that. And my aunt, and a couple of my cousins. Other than that, if you're yelling and screaming at me, there's going to be some repercussion of some sort, whether it's disassociation and just me ignoring you or whatever. But it's not something that I put up with anymore in my life. And I'm not going to watch videos where somebody's just cussing and swearing and calling everybody names and clowns, and calling people clowns is okay, but I mean the constant cuss words and implying that everybody else is a clown. Now I can understand where you're taking a car apart and you see stupid stuff that the previous people that worked on it did. And I can agree with the guy on some of his videos. Some of that stuff that he's pointing out is pretty dumb. Was literally pretty dumb. I mean, he's good at finding the flaws, but man, the cussing. Like I said, I couldn't take it. I had to unsubscribe from his channel. Cannot watch another one of his videos because I watched them and it riles me up, and then I caught myself. I almost used one of his words, and I'm like, nah, I just don't need this in my life. But anyways, this rambling video is getting a bit long in the tooth, so I'll get off here. I may or may not record some more today, tomorrow, next month. If you like what I'm doing, give me these, and comment. I know I got 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 subscribers, maybe 3 is the number. If you've subscribed and you actually watch something, do this, or comment on it. Let me know that you actually watched it. Later.